Behind the Byline, Claire's descent into truth. In the bustling city of New Haven, Claire was a rising star in the world of journalism. Ambitious and relentless, she had her eyes set on fame and fortune. To achieve this, Claire often twisted the facts of her stories, sensationalizing them to capture the public's attention. Her reports were more about scandal and shock value than truth, earning her notoriety and wealth, but at the cost of integrity. One story in particular propelled Claire to new heights of fame. It was about a small, struggling family accused of fraudulent activities. Claire exaggerated the facts, painting them as cunning and manipulative. Her story caused a media frenzy, severely impacting the family's life. That night, Claire reclined in the plush comfort of her luxurious apartment, basking in the glow of her latest successful report. The city lights twinkled like distant stars outside her window, mirroring the satisfaction she felt in her career ascent. As she drifted off to sleep, a strange sensation overtook her. It wasn't the gentle surrender to slumber she was accustomed to, but rather a feeling of being pulled into an unfamiliar realm. Claire found herself standing in the middle of a dimly lit street, the familiar sights of her city twisted into an unrecognizable landscape. Confused and disoriented, Claire initially thought she had woken up in some bizarre, alternate version of her world. The air was thick with a sense of foreboding, and the shadows seemed to whisper secrets of a story untold. Buildings loomed over her, their structures warped, as if reflecting a distorted reality. The streets, usually bustling with life, were eerily deserted. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the distant echo of a news report, her own voice, but contorted, delivering a story she didn't recognize. A chill ran down her spine as she realized the report was about her, but filled with accusations and condemnations she had never faced. As she wandered through this surreal version of her city, Claire felt a growing sense of dread. This was no ordinary night, no simple twist of fate. She was trapped in a mystery that defied logic, a living paradox where she was both the reporter and the subject of a twisted tale. In this nightmarish reality, Claire was no longer the orchestrator of stories, but the unwilling protagonist in a horrific narrative of her own making. She was thrust into the lives of the family she had maligned, their identities now melded with hers. The world around her was a distorted echo of her sensationalist reports, each detail exaggerated and grotesque. As she walked the streets, the atmosphere was thick with hostility. Faces in the crowd turned towards her, their eyes filled with accusation and contempt. Whispers swirled around her like a malevolent wind, words twisted and sharp, each syllable a dagger slicing through her soul. The family she found herself part of was a shadow of what it once was, broken by the weight of public condemnation. Their home, once a sanctuary, now felt like a prison, walls closing in, suffused with an air of suffocating despair. The family members, their features exaggerated and monstrous, were trapped in an endless loop of recriminations and sorrow, their anguish a direct reflection of the false narrative Claire had spun. As the dreams spiraled further into horror, Claire was besieged by nightmarish visions. The faces of those she had wronged in her career emerged from the shadows, their features twisted in agony and betrayal. They reached for her, fingers elongating into grotesque claws, their voices a cacophony of anger and pain. They accused her, their words intertwining into a relentless chorus, condemning her for the destruction she had wrought upon their lives. In a moment of terrifying solitude, Claire stumbled upon a mirror, its surface shimmering in the dim light. The reflection that stared back at her was a grotesque caricature of her former self, her features twisted into a visage of deceit and malevolence. This mirror held no lies, only the stark, unvarnished truth of what she had become through her unethical journalism. The horror of her own reflection was a crescendo of realization and regret. It was a moment of reckoning, where the monster she had become confronted the person she once was. The terror of this revelation was so intense that it shattered the illusory world around her. Claire awoke in a cold sweat, her heart pounding, in the safe confines of her apartment. The nightmare, a twisted journey through the pain and suffering she had caused, was a profound wake-up call. It was the catalyst that spurred her transformation from a purveyor of sensationalism to a beacon of truth in journalism. Haunted by the experience, Claire made a vow to change. She began to use her platform to tell the truth, to give a voice to the voiceless, and to report with integrity. She sought to repair the damage she had done, starting with the family she had maligned. Claire's transformation from a sensationalist reporter to a champion of truth made her a respected figure in the world of journalism. Her experience, though a product of her subconscious, had opened her eyes to the power of the media and the responsibility that came with it. The story of Claire's journey from a nightmare to redemption became an inspiring tale in New Haven. It served as a reminder of the impact words can have and the importance of honesty and empathy in storytelling.